From far and wide, Oilers fans, this is Dolynny TV. And this is a Dolynny TV game breakdown. As you see at the bottom of your screen, guys, it is very simple. Simple like that. 6, 2. See that? Yeah. So, the math at the beginning of the night was 14-5-1 or 14-6-0 would get the Oilers to 86 points with everybody else above us going 500 the rest of the way home would get us a playoff spot, okay? Fine and dandy. Here's the problem. As much as the math allows for one loss in this situation, 100%, now you guys have got to go 14-5-0 or 14-4-1. And after an effort as such tonight, how do you think this team could possibly go 14-4-1 or 14-5-0? A 6-2 loss in which you guys can see right here. The stats are right in front of you. A 6-goal win, right? 6 goals, 4-goal margin of a win on 36 shots. For the Oilers, 36 shots as well, 2 goals. Now, there is a big time thing you got to look at in the stats here when it comes to the goals allowed. Because when it was 1-0 Oilers, up until the Maple Leafs put 2 shots on net to make it 13-4 in the shot department, for a big chunk of that first period, the Oilers absolutely owned the shot department 13-2. And in my estimation, you guys know how I love to come down on them for the muffins. They threw some muffins, but a lot were actually looking for some dangerous stuff. And that's all you can ask. That's what's gotten this team playing so well the past 4 games prior to tonight. Then all of a sudden, the Maple Leafs get the shot department up to 8, and suddenly it's tied 1-1, and you go into the intermission, and from there, it just absolutely collapses. Like, the wheels fall off the bus, and it just gets so ugly, it's not even funny at this point. And, I mean, that first 7 minutes of the second period, the game absolutely got away from us. Literally within the first 4 minutes, the game was over. It was terrible. Absolutely devastating to watch as an Oilers fan. You think, okay, 1-1, just need to go out there, get ourselves a good couple of passing plays, finish something off, we'd be good. But you had a sense, everybody who was in the live stream chat with me this evening during the first 2 periods, the first thing we noted when the Oilers got up by 1, me and a couple other guys noting that we had it in the bag, the first thing we noted was if the Maple Leafs score, watch out. And what do? They score 6 unanswered, and then we score 1 to make it 6-2. We don't even save face. I was going to say we salvaged the game. We don't even save face in this by scoring that second goal, considering how greasy and how broken the goaltending interference reviews are in the NHL this year, last year, every year in history. However, there is one very bright spot, and I will not understate it at all. Leon Draisaitl is absolutely on this pace going to hit 50 goals this year. Leon Draisaitl is going to be the first Oilers 50-goal scorer since I think the 86-87 season for the Oilers. That is absolutely insane to think that Leon Draisaitl, of all people, could score 50 goals, and yet people still are on the fence if he's good enough to man his own line, if he's good enough to man an $8.5 million contract. I don't understand it, guys. I really don't. Draisaitl deserves every bit of respect an Oilers fan can possibly give him. You want to go and make him the player you think he is if you're coming down on him and make him a 40-point guy? Guys, we don't even have 50 points. We don't even have 45 points if it's without Draisaitl at this point. So don't kid yourself here. Draisaitl deserves a lot of respect for what he's done. Now, the matter is continuing to do it because obviously, mathematically, I know we can only lose 5 more games, but the math is still there for us to win and get in. However, that sounds absolutely like loony talk to me right now. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel after watching that game. Loony to think that we stood a chance going into this Toronto game to maybe get into the playoffs, and then you have an embarrassing performance like this. And I haven't even touched on Koskinen because realistically, other than that William Nylander goal, I don't buy into Koskinen being the problem at all in this game. Hung out to dry 3 times, and absolutely crapped on, essentially. Like, seriously. He gives up, yes, a weak goal. Then Stolarz comes in and gets beat on a bar down beauty by John Tavares. Okay, fine, dandy, whatever. But, like, seriously, it is just an absolutely devastating thing as any Oilers goaltender. That is one thing. Honestly, we do not give the Oilers goaltenders of the past enough credit for sticking in there and not demanding to be on the next flight out of town after every game, given the way that our defensive systems don't work, don't want to work, don't try, or don't buy in at all. Honestly, our defensive game is so terrible. I don't even have words for it. I don't even have water. I'm just doing it as a stress relief, a distraction from how down and out I feel right now. Like, oh my goodness, how do you go and blow this game up this bad against a team that realistically, if Kazian and Lucic and Malone, I mean, Malone had that greasy hit on Dermott, but other than that, really, where was the life? I know we had a lot of hits, but the biggest hit I saw was Josh Curry getting absolutely mammouthed into the end boards with no call there. Of course not, but you know what I mean? And it's just, oh my goodness, it just keeps going and going and going, and you see it get better for a few games. You see glimpses. You see what this team can be, and then it's gone. And honestly, other than the assist that McDavid drew tonight, I didn't see him as at all a difference maker. Everyone make of it what you will. John Tavares shutting him down. Morgan Rielly greasing him for 20 seconds after the puck's left his stick. Guys, honestly, if you watch the Oilers play any other team, if you're the fan of that other team and you sit there, oh, my team does a really good job of shutting down McDavid, you know what? Don't pat yourself on the back for thinking that, because it is getting ridiculous to the point that you think, oh, my team does so good shutting him down. You know who does good shutting Connor McDavid down? The referees do very good shutting Connor McDavid down. And I really don't understand this golden boy scenario for the NHL. They've got, man, he is such a marketable player. Oh my God. Least likely player in the NHL to get a call. Least likely. I mean, I think Tom Wilson or Brad Marchand actually get more calls from the refs than Connor McDavid does. And that is an absolute disgrace at this point. It is getting so beyond how terrible things have gotten in Edmonton. And the worst part is, you sit here and you explain that to somebody, like, seriously, watch a game with me. I'll show you where Connor McDavid should have had 3 power plays for the Oilers. And they're like, oh, whatever, man, you're just a complainer. And then they sit here and laugh at how terrible this Oilers team is. Yeah, well, honestly, what do you expect? If your star can't be your star, Connor McDavid, honestly, if you give him a couple more power plays, probably has 90 points already, 95 points already this season. And the amount of power plays he should draw per game, guys, the Oilers would be on the power play 15 times a game. Maybe that's why the NHL referees don't call it, but it is just, come on, at some point, you got to do something. Yeah, Connor McDavid taps the guy in the back of the skate saying, hey, good job covering me. Arms up! Arms up! Whistle! Whistle! Seriously. Are you kidding me? Come on. Yeah, so, and I honestly, I talked about the defense, but it's as simple as this. A, Darnell Nurse does not have a clue how to play in front of the net. He thinks going to a knee, trying to backhand flip a puck out of there is going to alleviate the pressure. I'm sorry. Even if Darnell Nurse had a backhanded that puck before it went in the net, guess what? It would have gotten to the blue line and the Oilers would have been scored on anyway. No way that did the job, even if it got away from the net for a few seconds. I mean, Matt Benning, like, seriously, stay on your guy. Pay attention for 10 seconds as you're crossing the blue line and get your job done. You're paid. You're paid as an NHL defenseman to defend your man, and somehow at this stage of the season, under Ken Hitchcock, Matt Benning still doesn't know how to do that. And of course, you can't forget Adam Larsson, boys. How does Adam Larsson defend the tip? You know what? He just stands there, watches the puck coming. I don't need to worry. They're not that good. Back of the net every time. Back of the friggin' net every time. The 6-2 loss is just such a disappointing, embarrassing number. It's not even funny. Seriously, if this would have been at home, there would have been another jersey tossed on the ice. That's how terrible it is. Anyways, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I'm going to go watch Netflix and chillax a little bit before going to bed. I will catch you in the next one.